How's it going, guys? Nick here from the Techno Jedis. I hope you're all doing freaking fantastically. Today we're going to be checking out the Microsoft Lumia 535. It is a very interesting phone. It stayed on inside of the box. It knew I was going to open it up. I'm going to show you some things inside of the box first, and then I'm going to show you the phone. So, first great thing about it, which blew my mind and made me extremely happy, was that it's now using a micro USB to charge, which is different from that really old irritating Nokia charger that used to always lose and then have to go buy a new one. So well done there on the charger, good move. The second thing, the headphones, and this is not something that I'm impressed with. So these earphones over here, these guys, in my mind, are from the early 2000s. Microsoft, you need to be investing in better earphones. These earphones are uncomfortable and uncool. Follow and be like the rest. Be a sheep and give us in-ear headphones like all other companies do. Okay, Microsoft, if you're listening, just do that. I promise you. You'll make a lot of people a lot more amped about your product. Okay, so that's basically what's in the box. It looks kind of like a Windows 8 box, as you can imagine, right? Seeing that the phone itself is running a Windows 8 operating system. I need to say before I get into the phone that I was slightly hesitant because I'd never used a Nokia phone before or a Microsoft phone, and so this is my first experience. I wasn't sure. I really didn't like Windows 8, and so I wasn't sure if I was going to like a phone that was built off Windows 8. So I need to tell you that I was actually pretty impressed with the phone from the get-go. So you can see the colors are really sharp, which is really cool. There's a lot of the apps that are really important. So for me, I immediately downloaded Evernote. You can see it's just really bright. It's really nice. Some of the apps run and get into it really quickly. Also, you can see I downloaded Wunderlist. Download these apps right now. Okay, colors are nice and crisp. It has a nice Windows 8 kind of feel to it, which is cool. And yeah, so that's basically it. You can see there's a lot of animations going in and out of the programs. If you want to open stuff up, there's a lot of movement, so it looks really nice, which is cool. And yeah, so that's basically it. The camera as well, I'm going to show you the app of the camera, because that I think is pretty cool. So you go into the app and you'll see there's a lot of different stuff you can do with it. So it has this option where you can play around with all the different settings. I have no idea what any of these things are. You can see you can do all these things to it. Okay, which is slightly different from a lot of phones. Over here you can see it is freaking out. Yes. That is because the touchscreen itself isn't the most awesome in the universe. So that irritated me quite a bit, was that the touchscreen was kind of finicky. It didn't always do exactly what I wanted it to do, but I guess you'll get the hang of it. Let's go into some good things about the phone, and then I can tell you some of the bad stuff, and then I'll give you the lowdown on whether or not you should get it. So the good things, the shutter speed on the camera itself, let's show you, is actually pretty quick. Let's show you. So these are my little guys over here. I got a little bit of a thing for Lego. So that's done. And these guys over here. The shutter speed's pretty quick, so it takes photos which are nice. It is a 5 megapixel camera. The cool thing is that it's got a front-facing 5 megapixel. So that is me over there. Hello. Yeah, so it's front-facing camera. That's 5 megapixel, and then it's also 5 megapixel on the back, which is cool. And then another thing that's pretty cool is that the phone itself is really light, so it's nice to use. It is a 5-inch screen, but it is completely manageable. The phone itself isn't very heavy. One thing that was cool is, there are loads of things that are cool, but I just keep saying one thing because I'm adding to the list. So I liked that it had Microsoft Office open or installed as soon as you put everything on. It shows you here all the things that you can do through Microsoft Office, which is cool. And then the battery life as well. I've only charged this thing once, and it's been going for like 3 days or something. So it's got some really great battery life. The back over here with the camera, this doesn't come pre-installed. A friend of mine puts, you know, you can get those camera lenses that are magnetic that clip onto your screen. Well, that's what he got, and that's what he did. It is raised, so you don't need to worry about it. It protects the camera when you spin it around on the desk like that. This is a cool thing I saw on YouTube as well. There's a guy called Medotech who dropped his phone in the toilet, and then he decided that he was going to show this might be quite fun. So he decided that he was going to wash it off, and what he did was he washed it off, and you do it like this. And so what he did was he washed the whole thing off, and it actually survived. So he took the whole thing, he put it underneath the tap, and the phone itself didn't die. I thought it was going to die within like a second or two, but it didn't. So that was pretty cool. Let's go into some of the bad things about the phone. Bad phone was one of the things was the verification process. So it took forever. Microsoft, why did you do that? The phone took forever to actually load up. It just took a lot more time than it should have, and it downloaded like 180 megs worth of bloatware. So there's like Storyteller, and there were podcast apps and sports and BBM. Let's just be honest. Let's go into this little beautiful app over here. Who still uses BBM? No one. BBM is not cool. WhatsApp and Telegram are the way to go. If you're wanting a really cool secure app for instant messaging, download Telegram right now. It's really cool. One of the things that might frustrate you about the phone is the Windows 8 styled apps. So things look very Windows 80, which is normal. It is a Windows 8 phone. One thing as well that wasn't that great was that the camera quality, it's a 5 megapixel camera. Really, 5 megapixels. That's really old school. Like the Galaxy S2, which was released like 5 years ago, had an 8 megapixel camera. So this isn't really saying much. It really should have been a better camera. One of the things that made me a little bit nervous was this over here. If you look, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, but the phone itself bends quite easily and is quite creaky. So that made me slightly nervous. I don't think that your phone will snap in half. I don't think it'll bend, but I think that's it maybe should have been a little bit more solid in how they made it. Okay, and then the last thing was how quickly apps, or how not quickly apps ran. There's a lot of lag between apps, and it shouldn't really be there. It's running a quad-core 1.2. You can see over here, quad-core 1.2 gigahertz processor. There is 1 gig of RAM. It shouldn't be lagging. So I downloaded and I was playing like Angry Birds. Over here, this is quite an old game, but there was quite a bit of lag with it. The colors are really cool. A lot of people didn't like the colors. I think the colors are flipping fantastic. It is a really, really crisp screen. If you can get over the lag, look, I think I need to actually tell you something. So, this phone is not trying to be the next HTC One. It's not trying to compete with the Galaxy S6. It's competing in its own league. So it is, as you'll see, there's a little bit of lag there, right? And that's because this isn't a flagship model. It is entry level. That's the point of this phone. They created it so that it would be an entry level smartphone. So you can't compare it to the iPhone 6 or the Galaxy S6. It is playing in its own league. So it is an entry-level phone. Now, I need to tell you whether or not you should buy it. If you are looking for a phone and you don't mind using the Windows 8 type thing, the downside with the Windows Store is that there are, like some apps, like for me, Pockets is non-negotiable, Feedly, non-negotiable apps. They aren't available in the Windows Store, so you need to find alternatives. If you're fine with that and you don't really care about those apps, then you can get around it. If you really need Chrome, you can download this cool Google Now workaround, which you can speak into it. It has all the fun gimmicks that Google has. It does take a while to load, like a few of the other apps. If you're fine with that, then it's a great phone. I think that this phone can do a lot more than a lot of other phones can do. So it's got a good camera. It's reasonably quick. Considering its price, it is definitely worth getting. If you're looking at getting into the smartphone market, you don't mind a Windows phone. Windows phones generally are quite reliable. They aren't as unstable as other stuff. If you're cool with that, then get this phone. It's a lot cheaper than a lot of others. I would be happy using it if I had it and I had to use it. I wouldn't actually have a problem using it because it'll be able to do everything that I need it to do. Obviously, it is not an iOS phone. It's not competing iOS with the Apple iPhone 6 or the Galaxy S6. It's not in that tier. It's in the bottom kind of mid-range, and for that, I definitely think it's a good phone. You should definitely consider getting it if you want to go for that old Nokia thing. So that's basically it. I think that it's a cool phone. It doesn't feel super cheap. It feels a little bit heavier. But that, I guess, is all down to like your own preference and if you like that. Cool. Well, that's basically it. I think that this phone, considering it is in the bottom tier, it is getting, I'd say, maybe an 8 out of 10. If they made it a little bit stronger and it felt a little bit more premium, a little bit less lag, then I would be super amped to use this phone. So 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. Well done for that for your first phone, Microsoft. Leave any comments below. If anything else you want to know about this phone, let us know and we'll check it out. It's been real, guys. I enjoyed doing this review. I really actually enjoyed checking out it's not a Nokia phone, Nick. It's a Microsoft phone. I really enjoyed checking out the Microsoft phone, and I'm really interested to see what they bring to the party in future. Cool. It's been real, guys. We'll see you around.